Just want to give a shout out to Steven Crowder tonight. You know, I've been reviewing and listening to a lot of people and commentaries on what's going on between Daily Wire and Steven Crowder. And I got to tell you, Steven Crowder called it how it is. A lot of people don't like it, but there's also a lot of money involved if they admit to it. And that would cause a lot of, well, let's just say a lot of people lose credibility in the eyes of the public if they really knew that they were being bought out by certain criteria that they're trying to adhere to for the almighty dollar. We need to listen better what Steven Crowder is trying to say and not try to be so judgmental. I want to talk a little bit about the importance of those who are conforming. They're selling out. And I'm really disappointed in some of those who have spoken out and lashed out against Steven Crowder. He's got a point, and we need to listen to him. So, if you don't know, there is a independent media, let's just call it, he has basically a podcast, okay? And there's so many terms you can put into these YouTube channels, and they're just more than YouTube. They're on Rumble and there's other platforms. But YouTube is the biggest payer right now. When you get advertising, you get monetized. That means you get paid to having your YouTube channel. So for those who don't know what's going on, there's these giants, these big companies that have kind of brought in independent YouTubers and brought them all together under one umbrella. And, you know, under that is the Daily Wire. And you have Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, and I can go down the list. But there's also other, with Blaze TV, that happens to be Glenn Beck, and there's a series. There's Officer Tatum, who's by himself. But I have to say this much. I was really disappointed in the fact that everybody was so judgmental and really trying to it was really hard to say that Steven Crowder was wrong on what he said. Now, what he said was this, if you don't know. In summary, he basically got an offer to affiliate with the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire has this big house of a huge handful of these giant, apparently conservative, independent podcasts or talks or talk shows or whatever you want to call these on YouTube anymore. They have all these different names. And he got the contract, but in the contract, if he was ever to get suspended or even sanctioned, I'm just going to put it in layman terms, by YouTube, who is the biggest payer right now, is the biggest market out there, that platform, that he also got sanctioned in his salaries. And the salary is going to be a good salary. But then he responded saying, well, wait a minute. I can't really be independent if I'm being controlled by a left-wing organization like YouTube, which is part of Google, right? And he said, I can't do my job. And so then that means all of you then are not saying what needs to be said for fear of getting a strike on YouTube and getting penalized. And that's what he revealed. I've always felt, and I've told people, Fox News, Daily Wire, especially Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens really disappointed me how she came out and lashed out. Really lost a lot of credibility with Candace Owens, not just in my eyes, but a lot of people's eyes. Ben Shapiro, the Daily Wire just struck out and attacked one man, trying to make him look like the bad guy. So what he did, knowing they would do this, because he identified who they were, he called back and recorded a phone call. And in this phone call, he then plays it on his show so that he can hear them speaking and explaining what they're offering and why they're offering and what they're doing. And basically they admit, in so many words, they admit that, yeah, we've got to conform to YouTube because that's where our revenue comes in. So then, these conservative media, the leaders out there that are leading the conservative voice are controlled by YouTube and are limited to what they can say. Steven Crowder exposed that. I guess in a way you could say he did his moment of Donald Trump. Like him or don't like him, he did expose the corruption. I've always felt that Glenn Beck, that Steven Crowder, Blaze TV for the most part, those on Daily Wire for the most part, and a lot of others will not go the distance and say what's really taking place. We're now showing with the Twitter files that there are actually conspiracies to then overthrow certain elements of our freedom, certain sectors of society. There's no lie to that. The World Economic Forum is in Davos meeting right now. What is their purpose? To bring everybody together to conspire in a way that they can take our freedoms from us because they feel they are the elites and we are not, and create a whole new world order and structure. That's true. There's nothing out there saying that, you know, there isn't this type of a gathering together. Now, I may get dinged on YouTube for even using that word. And so Crowder is one who's not afraid to say anything. And shout out to him because he really needs the support right now. Candace Owens to go on Tim Pool and say he just did it for money. He didn't need the money, Candace Owens. He has more followers than you do, more subscribers. So he didn't need that, Candace. He has the money. He has the subscribers. What do you have, 6 million subscribers? He's the giant, or one of the giants out there. So that was really a low blow on her part. And others, Ben Shapiro, real low blow, coming across as, he was my friend, he betrayed me. No, he actually didn't betray you. He stood for principle. And you were betraying everybody else and he exposed you. So now you're gonna go back and make him look like a bad guy. That's the same thing the left does. You're gonna try to cancel him out. Shame on you, Daily Wire, and shame on you, Officer Tatum, Candace Owens, and all those involved. Ben Shapiro especially. Really disappointed. We unsubscribed to Daily Wire. Until they will go the distance and say what really needs to be said, I can't count on them to tell the truth. They are being controlled by those who pay them the money. And that's what this is all about, why we are attacking Steven Crowder. So, in summary, we need more people out there that are willing to give a voice. We're just a small little channel. We only have a little over 2,000 followers so far. We hope to grow to be bigger, maybe 30,000, 40,000. That would be fantastic for us. But we're always going to defend the truth. Whether it strikes us, doesn't strike us, we're always going to defend that truth. And we need to understand that, you know, when truth's out there, people want to hear it and they need to hear it. So that's what took place with Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire, if you didn't know already. And actually, Steven Crowder was in the right. They say that because he recorded that phone call, that he betrayed his friend. Well, they weren't really friends. They were just colleagues and associates. They'd done some things together. But even then, if somebody's doing something to deceive others, right now that's their job, is to expose that. And if it means even your best friend, that means you're your best friend. That's exactly what took place in communist agendas and communist countries, is they would defend each other. And nobody would rise up to expose because they were fear of being canceled out or imprisoned in the gulags, etc. Today is a cancel culture. Same idea. Steven Crowder, thumbs up to you, man. Keep telling the truth. What you did was right. You recorded that phone call because you knew that when everything came to light, they were going to attack you and try to make you look like the bad guy and do everything they can do to cancel you out. And you have the evidence. Smart move, man. Real smart move on your part. DeFi IoT. We'll catch you in the next video.